I will not let you do that to me. Now get out. I'm going to divorce you and make you pay for this. I've been a perfect wife. I gave you 2 wonderful children, ran the household, made you dinner and treated you with love. And this is how you repay me. I almost laughed at her demeanor and comments. She was not going to enjoy this in a few minutes. That's for sure, Mary. It was just sex. Come on, it was just a one-time thing. Are you sure you want a divorce over this? She went, what? Do you mean only sex? Are you kidding? I don't believe you. And how do I know if there aren't others? I can't trust you. And yes, I want a divorce and you're going to pay dearly for this, I replied. Well, I didn't expect you to be so heartless and cruel. Like I said, there was no love, it was just sex. And only those 2 times. Is this really what you want? Are you sure there's no forgiveness possible? Maybe we can go to counseling. I tried to give her a fighting chance, but she was stacking the odds against herself, and she didn't even know it. She declared, no, it's over. I won't remain married to a cheater. Just grab some of your belongings and leave. Go stay with Tom or book a hotel room. But I don't want to see you anymore. My attorney will be in touch shortly. I couldn't resist a smile. Little did she know she had unwittingly played right into her own downfall with those words in her tone. She yelled, why do you have that smirk on your face? I told her, you just made my decision a lot easier. She asked what I meant by that, but I told her to get dressed and come with me, that there was something I would like to show her. She was still pissed and seething, but reluctantly followed me down to my workshop. I had her stand next to the same window where I made the recording. I told her to stay there and not move until I returned. I went outside and signed the car's Bluetooth speaker with my iPhone, then returned to the workshop. She was still angry but now confused as I stood next to her and then hit play on the phone as my unfaithful wife listened to her own words. Her confusion deepened, but she kept on listening. Then her facial expression shifted to one of profound shock as the conversation unfolded. She broke down in tears and collapsed to her knees, fully comprehending the gravity of the situation. She began to apologize and desperately inquired about how I had obtained that recording. I said, well, I'm not sure why that matters, but I had to come back for some things I forgot to pack. I didn't want to disturb you girls, so I came down the back door to avoid your little party. That's when I heard you talking about me in bed. I recorded it because I was going to share it with you and tease you when I got back. But when you confessed to your affair with Bill, I stayed and recorded everything. She cried out loud and said, sweetheart, you heard me say it was just a one-off and only sex. You must know there's nothing between us. You have to forgive me. I'm so sorry. You weren't supposed to find out for the first time in our marriage. Her tears seemed not to affect me. I told her I heard everything and asked her how she could expect me to just brush that aside. I said, I can't ignore that, and I can't ever trust you again. I can't just pretend that everything's okay. She continued crying, saying she didn't mean what she said, that she loves me, and that I should give her a chance to explain. She insisted she didn't mean any of that, and begged me to believe her. She then asked, what about our 20 years together and the kids? I told her, I know this is going to be hard, but I can't ignore what you did. You should have thought of the kids, or our years together when you decided to betray me and our family. What you did is unforgivable, and you will have to face the consequences, just like you were so ready to give me punishment for my mistakes. I understand that some men might be able to forgive their wives for such actions, but I personally couldn't muster the strength to do so. The pain was simply too overwhelming, and the trust that had been shattered felt beyond repair. Despite the love I once held for her, I couldn't envision a path towards overcoming what she had confessed. All I could do was acknowledge my own emotions and follow my heart, even if it meant saying goodbye to the woman I had once loved so intensely. Before leaving, I looked down at her and said, you've broken my heart. Today I lost someone who didn't care about me, but today you lost someone who would have done anything for you. The sounds of her begging for forgiveness followed me until I walked away from her for the last time. After that encounter, I made the heartbreaking call to our family and children, letting them know what had transpired between Mary and me. My children, Michael and Katie, offered their understanding and unwavering support. Their lives were forever altered by the fallout, but I was determined to ensure their future was secure, promising to fund their college education and take care of them. I then proceeded to file for divorce as soon as I could and got the papers ready in no time. Meanwhile, the tension was thick as I handed Mary the divorce papers. She begged for my forgiveness, but her appeals went unheard because my heart was too wounded to even contemplate reconciliation. I was acutely aware that I could never place my trust in her again. The divorce proceedings were a painful ordeal, with Mary making desperate attempts to salvage our marriage. However, the judge's decision was swift and in my favor, granting me a significant portion of the assets and denying any spousal support at my office. When the other workers found out that Bill had caused my divorce, they treated him like someone with leprosy. They refused to socialize with him and treated him like the jerk he was. He realized he couldn't stay there as they made his life miserable by screwing up jobs, causing complaints and loss of money, so he decided to find his way out. I'm sure Tom and Jerry's wives realized how close they had come to jeopardizing their marriages, just like Mary did. It was a wake-up call for them, and they understood the value of their husband's forgiveness and the need to respect and cherish their relationships. Mary continued to try to win me back, but I had no intention of ever being with her again. Several months later, I began dating Becky, my secretary, who was eager to make me happy. She recognized that I was a valuable partner, and despite the 10-year age gap, she was content with our relationship. Meanwhile, Mary's life took a more solemn trajectory as she dealt with the consequences of her failed marriage. She came to terms with the fact that I would never welcome her back, and she secured a position as a receptionist at a dental office. She met an older man and began dating, I'm sure in her quiet moments. She would reflect on what could have been, wishing she had made different choices and held on to the life she had with me. I did miss her, but Becky quickly filled that void and made it her mission to be the perfect other half. I loved the young woman's energy, and about a year later we got married. I hope for the best,